guys, so I'm back. And I had decided to go ahead and redo this next part because it is so important that I get these things right, because I want you guys to understand the messages that my Father has given me to give to all of you. And these are not things that He is telling us that's new. It's just things that He wanted to clarify to us so that we can now understand the time that we're in and understand His plan. So I really wanted to make sure that you guys now understand what's going on. So I will read now the second part that my Father has said I should speak to you guys about, which is now concerning His word. And so I will read it. Here it goes. Let me turn this down so that you guys can hear me clearly. Okay. I didn't turn too low. Okay. And this is coming from God, like I said. So I just will read His exact words. And there will be a great shout in all of the earth, and that is my sign to you, my children, that I have sent this one who write this to you. Now concerning my word, and for this thing I must undo in all of you. Yes, my children, you know my word, but you do not understand it. For if you did, you would have not said to me or one to another that my book of Revelation is the last part, or will happen in the end. For I had told you, because of ye brother Jesus' victory, he has won for me and you all. So now the things that I had sent to you first will be last, and the things that I had sent to you last can now be first. And I had not just said it for Moses, my prophet, my son, and my commandment. This was for all things in my word. And I had reminded you this in Matthew chapter 20, verse 16. So those who are last will be first, and those who are first will be last. Was not my son, ye brother Jesus, the last one I sent to you? Then why? To you? I'm sorry. Reading here. Then ye should have known, wherever ye have seen ye brother name in my word, that this had already happened or had already begun. The only thing I had told you had not happened yet was his second coming. And I had told you so because of what ye brother had done by his sacrificial death, he can now be first. For he had won victory for all ye people from every tribe, language, nation, race. And then I had told you because of this, and because my very own son had done this for me, he can now break the scrolls that no one in all of heaven or upon the earth or in the waters or below the earth can open. I had told you this in my book of Revelation, chapter 5, 1 through 13. And for the sake of you guys, that may be a little new to this, I will go ahead and read directly from the Holy Bible. Revelations 5, verse 1. Verse 1 through 15, so that you guys may understand what it is that God is referring to for this next part. And so it reads, I saw a scroll in the right hand of the one who sits on the throne. It was covered with writing on both sides, and it was sealed with 7 seals. So he saw one scroll, okay, with writing on both sides, and it was sealed with 7 seals. Second verse. I saw a mighty angel announce in a loud voice, who is worthy to break the seals and open the scroll? But there was no one in heaven or on earth or in the world below who could open the scroll and look inside. I cried bitterly because no one could be found who was worthy to open the scroll or look inside of it. Then one of the elders said to me, don't cry, look, the Lion from Judah's tribe, the great descendant of David, has won victory, and he can now break these 7 seals and open the scroll. And for the sake of understanding this was one scroll with 7 seals on it. So let me continue. Then I saw a lamb standing in the center of the throne, surrounded by the 4 living creatures and the elders. The lamb appeared to have been killed. I will reread that. The lamb have appeared to have been killed. It had 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God that had been sent through the whole earth. The Lamb went and took the scroll from the right hand of the one who sits on the throne. As he did so, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb. Each had a harp and gold bowls filled with incense, which are the prayers of God's people. And they sang a new song. You are worthy to take the scroll and break open its seals, for you were killed by your sacrificial death. You bought for God people from every tribe, language, nation, and race. You have made them a kingdom of priests to serve our God, and they shall rule on earth. Again I looked, I heard angels, thousands and millions of them. They stood around the throne, the 4 living creatures and the elders, and sang in a loud voice, the Lamb who was killed is worthy to receive power, wealth, wisdom, strength, honor, glory, and praise. And I heard every creature in heaven, on earth, and the world below, and in the sea in all living beings in the universe. And they were singing to him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb be praise and honor, glory and might forever and ever. And don't we sing all of this to him? We sing our praise. We sing our praises to him, to God in Jesus now, all over the world and all over the universe. Now, I have read that so that you guys can now understand this next part that God had said that I should write and speak to you. Okay. And verse 2, I had told you that no one was worthy but my son to open this seal. Remove the seals and open this scroll. In verse 6, I had described to you how my son had looked. So then you can verify in my word what I have told you to be true. When I had said, and now the last will be first, for my son, ye brother, Jesus, had looked as if he had just been killed. For my servant John had described this to you, for my son had just died for you all. My son had just died for you all, and then he came to me and had taken the scroll from my right hand and removed its seals and opened it. Thus I had explained this to you in Revelation chapter 6. And now I say to you all that this is a good thing, for now I am able to come and end this evil one I had named world once and for all. My children, why are you frightened? For what I had just told you is a good thing for all of your sake. So why are you frightened when I say to you, I am coming to end this world? For the sake of you understanding my meaning, I had told you in John 17, verse 14 through 15, through ye own brother Jesus, as he had prayed to me for each of you, he had revealed that I had named this evil one world. For ye brother had said, I had gave them your message, and the world hated them because they do not belong to the world, just as I do not belong to the world. I do not ask you to take them out of the world, but I do ask you to keep them safe from this evil one. So now, my children, understand when I say I am coming to end the world, it is a good thing ye brother Jesus had done this for all of your and our sake. For only then was I able to start the process of ending this evil one who had grieved us all. So then may ye live in peace. in me. So believe all the words in which my prophetess had just spoken to you, for they are not of her own authority. It is of mine. The things she speak is not her own words. They are mine. And I am your God, the beginning and the end. The things that I speak is so. For I am the one true living God. There is not none before me or after me. So peace be with you, my children. For I love each of you, and I am coming soon to prove my love of you by ending this evil one for you. Okay, you guys, and I will go ahead and end this part of the message here. I think this part of this particular message is so dope because God really opened up a door for truth. I like the fact that he said, I have said this to you so that now you can go in my word and verify. I love that what I say is true. I love the fact that he has said this to us because God did say once Jesus had came and died for us, he did say, and now the things that I have sent to you first will be last. And the things that I had sent to you last can now be first. And it is so dope that he said, I have not just said this for the sake of who I sent you, but I have said this for all things in my word. And you know, God is a God of order. So when he has said, okay, and now the things that I had sent to you last will now be first, he has said, okay, so did I not send Jesus last? So then when you see his name in my word, know that this had already happened. And so why is it that we had said to him, us, his children, that revelation is the last thing to happen because Jesus had died? He was the only one worthy enough to remove the 7 seals off of that one scroll to begin this process of ending the evil one. If you understand God, he is a God of justice. He is a God of mercy, and he is a God of order. He said, I have said this to you so that you can know then my word is true. He had described how Jesus looked to us in Revelation so that then we could understand. And he had described this through his servant John. He had described to us that this man had looked it as if he had just been killed. And then I love the fact that God said, this is because he had just died for you. All of you nations, all of you races, from every tribe, every language, he had just died for you all. Thus, he came to me and was able to take the scroll that I had in my right hand as your God. This is God talking. He was able to take the scroll that I had in my right hand and remove its 7 seals. And he had done this for I and all of your sake, so that we can then now live as God had intended us to. And I love the fact that God is constantly telling us the things that he sent us last is now first. So now, even with him putting revelation at the end, we should have known it is now first. But to verify, he said, I'll give you one better. I described how he looked so you may understand that he had just died and then had came and done this. So I feel like we had not known the time we were in, because as God said, we know his word, but we had not understood it correctly. Because revelation had begun when Jesus had died for all of us. And each seal that he broken opened a new door. And those things will be talked about in his next part so that you and us all may know, including me, what state we are in now, and why God is saying now it is time, because now it is time. for this war. And this is a beautiful thing because this is the final war. And something that will be explained, and I'll go ahead and tell you guys, because as I've been writing the messages that God had given me, every war in the Bible was a spiritual war. And the people, his people, us, his children, had to come together to be multiplied by the thousands, to have his Holy Spirit multiplied by the thousands in each of them so that they may win that war. But every war that they had in the Bible was a spiritual war. The body of God, which is his people, have fought this war. And God is saying, now this is the war of all wars, because this is the final war. This war will end this evil one once and for all. And then we may live as he had commanded us. I love that he's saying, the thing that I had sent to you first can now be last. I don't know if you guys had caught that, but in my first part of God's message, when I had read what God had wrote in the first part, God had said, you know, he was telling the story of Adam, and he said, and I then had commanded him alive. So I had told you guys that God was saying that his first commandment was that he commanded us alive. And then he gave us 10 more to keep as we live. I like the fact that he said, okay, and now Jesus will be first. So now I can end this evil one, and then you can now live as I commanded you. You know, now you can live. Now it won't be done because I commanded you alive. This evil one will be dead now. And now you can live. So I love the fact, and we see him verifying that in his word, because Moses came first with the commandments. And Jesus came last as our Lord and Savior. And so now he said, because this had happened, Jesus had become first, which means he was able to open the seals in Revelation. He became first. So everywhere where we see Jesus in his word had already happened or had already begun. And that's why he described Jesus, you know, beaten up and bloody, and said to us, now this process can begin. So I think that is a beautiful thing that he even explained it, because for so long I thought Revelation was the last thing to happen, but God just told us all that it had happened right after Jesus had died. And so now we will begin to see where we are according to each seal that Jesus had pulled off. And because of his sacrificial death, we are all now able to belong to God. He said he had bought you all for God. So it's amazing to me. And this is just a call to all of us so that we can begin to wake up from this sleepless sleep and come together as his people and do this final war for him, so that we may all live without pain, death, sickness, or hurt. So it's time for us to come together as his body so that he may put himself into each of us, because God has no form. You understand? You know, and God is massive. So he need us, the ones, his children, the ones he had clothed in his flesh, to come together and be his body so that he can smite this evil one once and for all. So I think this is a good thing that we're now learning and that he's revealing to all of us. So he said, peace be with us all, and that he loves us. And he's coming to prove that he loves us by ending this evil one. And I thought that was pretty dope. I'm learning, and even though I'm speaking these things to you guys, I do want you guys to understand I am learning these things right along with you guys, because I didn't know none of this. I'm learning these things. We are all learning these things together. You know, God is only using me as a vessel, and had came to me and asked me to write all these things down. And I have written all of these things down. And I mean, it's so much of it, you guys. I'm not even like playing. It's so much of it. So I have written all of these things down. And even in his word, he had told me, you know, to show them where to find these things, because this is not nothing new that I'm saying to them, which is why God said, yes, my children, you know my word, but you did not understand it. And he's just giving us that correction, because now it is time for this final war to take place. And it's a beautiful thing. I love the fact that he also said, do not be frightened, for I am doing this for all of our sakes, you know, for all of your sakes, you know. And it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, until next time, like I said, this message came from God. This is not my words. Like I said, I'm learning it as he speaks to me. I write it down and I learn it as you guys learn it. So you know, love you guys. Pray. Let's come together. Like I said, we want to repay God back for everything that he does for us, the way that he loves us, the way that he's so patient, that he is even taking the time out now to explain to us even this. You know, this is like love for real, you guys. And it is meant for us, you know, to come together and do the things that he has said he should be glorified in. So, you know, complete this process so that, you know, we can live as he intended us. We all can live as he intended us. And I know I'm ready. So, hopefully we all can get ready, because this evil one had done a lot of foolishness. And God is only using me to, you know, shed light, uncover these lies, so that we now may begin to train for this final war. So this was, you know, a good thing. This is a good thing. Like God has said, this is an amazing thing. We'll live forever in him. So bye guys. I hope you enjoyed the message just as much as I did. Love you all. See you later. Peace.